Welcome to the Reality Revolution podcast. This is Brian Scott, your host. The Reality Revolution podcast is dedicated to the spirits who believe life is meant to be magical and fun. You are not small and insignificant and powerless. You are multidimensional, infinite, and eternal. The primary purpose of this podcast is to reawaken your sense of fascination and awe towards life, to shatter your rigid belief systems and habitual ways of seeing the world. Today is episode 4, and we're going to talk about hacking the subconscious mind, an incredibly important subject in dealing with expanding your consciousness, hacking reality, and changing the world around you. What is the subconscious mind, and how does it affect your life? Gustave Goulet, a distinguished French psychologist, once wrote a book called Conscious to Conscious, and he stated, "There is no artist, man of science, or writer of any distinction, however little disposed to self-analysis, who is not aware by personal experience of the unequaled importance of the subconscious." The subconscious is one of the most powerful forces affecting everything you do. Entire books have been written about this, thousands of them actually, about the subconscious mind. For a full exploration of this, you must read Joseph Murphy's The Power of the Subconscious Mind. It is required reading. It is absolutely fantastic. And I just cannot tell you enough. Just go out and get the book and read it or listen to it. It's on YouTube for free, and we will try to provide links to various places where you can find it. The subconscious mind operates your automatic bodily processes like growth and repair, your heart, which beats thousands of times a day, your digestive system, and hundreds of complex bodily processes. It is the seat of emotion controlling the body's limbic system, hormones, and expresses survival instincts like the fight or flight response. The subconscious mind controls 2 types of automated behaviors that have been learned: physical actions like walking or riding a bike, and mental actions like attitudes and beliefs. The subconscious mind houses memory. It holds all real or imagined life experiences. It lacks the ability to edit incoming information as real or imaginary, true or false, helpful or harmful. It also can cause and cure diseases, create and alleviate stress. One of the most important factors to consider the subconscious mind's ability to process information. It is so much more efficient and effective than the conscious mind. Another study suggests the subconscious mind processes 400 billion bits of information per second, and the impulses travel at a speed of up to 100,000 miles per hour. Compare this to your conscious mind, which processes 2,000 bits of information per second. Its impulses travel 100 to 150 miles per hour. Many of the actions we take and the decisions we make are based on deep beliefs written into our subconscious mind. Many of these beliefs only exist because of repetition and being given to us when our mind is susceptible and open. There are numerous ways to change your subconscious mind, and we're going to go into that. We want to figure out ways to hack our subconscious mind. Now, there are 6 that come to mind right now. First of all is hypnosis. We can recreate a theta brain state of receptivity and use it to reprogram our mind in a more conscious way. And the cool thing is that each of us have access to this state of being 2 times every day when we effectively hypnotize ourselves, just before falling asleep and just as we are waking up. As we are drifting off, the mind moves from active beta into alpha and then theta, before eventually dropping into delta as we sleep. In my belief, you can affect the subconscious mind in the alpha, theta, and delta states. It is very difficult to do in beta, but can be done through repetition. The theta window is our most receptive state and responds well to the visions and suggestions we hold in this space. So listening to subliminal tapes at this time is one way to begin overriding limiting programs with new beliefs and behaviors we want to experience. The next is through repetition. Here's an interesting fact. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between vividly imagined and what's real. The second method for reprogramming our subconscious towards positive change is to practice new thoughts and actions with feelings, and to repeat this throughout the day as though you were learning a new skill or building a new muscle. This can be sticky notes on the mirror. This must be felt and experienced. This can be difficult. We're experiencing great contrast to the things we want. For instance, a cancer patient saying, "I am healthy." So through repetition of saying that, eventually we can break down those inner beliefs that are blocking the ways we want to change the world. But even if it looks different than your current life, repetition works. If we can harness the ability to bring ourselves into a feeling space connected to the end result of what we really want. Motion creates emotion, and weaving a movement and feeling together is one of the best ways to build the energy of a vision. The next is something I call energy psychology. It's a great movement. There's a quote, "Human civilization on this planet has the necessity to rapidly change our behavior because our current behavior is leading to mass extinction." And energy psychology is a form of belief that provokes super learning. It's different ways to synchronize the hemispheres of our brain and download something into the subconscious rapidly. I recommend several books on energy psychology. I'll try to put the links in the notes, and they're just different ways that you can affect the way your mind works through different movements and activities. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along with this podcast in the future. The next is high impact events. Every once in a while, something happens that completely pierces the bubble of our subconscious mind and creates a powerful window for holistic change. These events can come in the form of a parent crisis, a critical illness, loss of a loved one, a major emergency, or even a blessing, the birth of a new child, meeting a soulmate, and the impact of these events are so profound that they call forth a completely radical departure from our normal programs and ways of being. The power to create spontaneous remissions of any sort in health-wise is available to us when we tap into the power of our subconscious mind. And neuroscience is finding when high-impact events occur, the chemical cocktail that occurs in our brain has a profound effect. At least it becomes memorable and seeps into our subconscious mind. The next thing to hack your subconscious is to be consciously aware of what you watch and listen to. If all you do is watch negative television shows and listen to depressing music, it will program your subconscious view of the world. Watch uplifting programs and listen to positive music to create a positive view of the world. Be careful of anything that you read, watch, or listen to with the awareness you are crafting your subconscious mind with everything that you see and do. Next, utilize the 5 minutes prior to sleep. This magical time before sleep is when your brain is in alpha or theta, as we discussed before. It's very receptive. It's easier to introduce new ideas. Most people, when they lay down to sleep, will go through all their worries and concerns. Imagine for a second that the last thought that you think of as you go to sleep is the first thought you have when you wake up. And if that's the case, you need to program your thoughts and be very aware of them. The final concept is affirmations, and a lot of people laugh at this. I did too. I found it kind of a weak idea, but it is powerful. It's a way of guiding, controlling your thoughts and process. Repeating powerful and emotional phrases will change your subconscious mind. If you state "I'm healthy" multiple times throughout the day, your conscious mind will eventually decide that this is true. Many times it may take you thousands of repetitions of a phrase. But I have seen and felt in my own life and met multiple people that have used affirmations in a surprising way. In future podcasts, we're going to try to put together hundreds of different affirmations that we can repeat on a regular basis. I'm going to try to gather up some of my favorite ones. I highly recommend over time creating your own affirmations that speak to you on an emotional level. Other people's affirmations are effective. Another thing that I do is to listen to affirmations that other people are reading or stating I do it when I work out. You can even listen to it at very fast speed. I make it a part of my workout routine. I listen to affirmations. Another very powerful thing with affirmations is to do affirmations in combination with movements. So if you're lifting weights, if you're exercising, that's a great time to speak out loud those affirmations. And we're going to have more episodes in the future where we're going to try to organize really good affirmations that we can use. And I would love to hear your affirmations that have worked for you. I've done research on this. I found affirmations that lottery winners have used, that people that have become healthy after facing incredibly difficult situations. And please email me your favorite affirmations. I would love to hear them. Let's gather them up. Let's put together a list, and we'll be reading those in the future. Hopefully we can put together a podcast that you can listen to repeatedly, and we can make it something special and powerful. If you have a specific goal in your life, creating specific affirmations can be very powerful, and you may not begin them. But the process of repeating the affirmations and then analyzing the feelings that come up and your beliefs as you say them can literally change your reality. By actively molding and shaping your subconscious mind, you can find greater prosperity, better health, meaningful friendships, deeper love, and profound happiness in your life. We need to look at the way the subconscious mind works, and one model of consciousness that quite stunningly reflects how this works is the conscious mind is likened to the surface of the ocean, the subconscious to the ocean itself, and the consciousness, the unmoving and deep surfaces of the ocean. It is important to understand that operating at the surface of the ocean is not very life-changing. The thoughts you are consciously aware of make up less than 1% of your total being. This is why I sometimes mock the mind or ego and its contents. If you operate only at the surface level of the mind, thought, action, and external reality, your level requires enormous willpower and effort. But only a slight change at the subconscious level will move the entire ocean and the surface with it. The subconscious levels contain your deep-seated emotions, core beliefs, and identities. Making changes here has a long-lasting effect on your reality. If you only try modifying your thoughts and actions, that will work temporarily. But sooner or later, whatever you truly believe and feel will resurface. The conscious mind is only the very tip of the overall ocean, the part of the ocean you can see. Whatever runs in your conscious mind is what you think is appropriate to the current circumstances. The rest is hidden from sight. So, I was just on a flight recently, and I was looking down over the ocean as we flew on it, and I could see the waves on the top. And I was trying to imagine what was below, and we couldn't really see what was below, of course, because what we see on the top of the ocean has nothing to do with what's going on, the animal life, the geography, the architecture of that ocean is hidden from our sight. And what we have in our subconscious mind is often hidden from our minds. One of the things I've learned in coaching others, the first thing I try to figure out is what is the subconscious beliefs that are blocking them from achieving their goals. It is really the most powerful and effective method to understanding what's going on. And if we can help release these subconscious beliefs, we can make huge, gigantic changes. Every second, your brain is taking in millions of bits of data through your physical senses, moment by moment, enough data to crash a supercomputer. All of this is rushing into your brain. Think about it. When you sit in a restaurant, there's a part of your mind that's accessing the conversations of everybody around you. And you have the power to access all this information. Your subconscious brain is processing all this data and creating useful information and a unique view of reality for the conscious mind. The brain is making decisions as to what is important right now and what can be safely ignored for now, but stored for later. When you create an intention and a goal, your subconscious mind will start moving towards that goal. The reticular activating device in your brain is constantly looking for the things that you are looking for on your conscious mind, and it's using the information that's available in the subconscious. That's why this is so powerful. This continuous data processing is occurring mostly outside your conscious awareness, but all within your brain. As we stated before, the information you get about the world around you is based on data the subconscious mind already filtered 0.15 seconds earlier. This background, or what we call the subconscious activity, accounts for 95 to 99% of your mental activity when you are awake. Think about that. 99% of the processes run by your brain while you're awake are outside of your conscious awareness. More than 95% of the mental activity in your brain, as you consciously listen to what I'm saying, is being used by your subconscious mind. Neuroscientist Conrad Cording from Northwestern University has a quote that I find fascinating, that the human brain produces in just 30 seconds as much data as the Hubble Space Telescope has produced in its entire lifetime. Imagine that. The conscious mind is just the very, very narrow area that is your current focus and includes most of what Sigmund Freud called the ego. The Int Conscious Mind is the mind that reflects on these words as you read them, but can only process about 5 to 9 chunks of information at a time. So you can really only focus on a very small band of information. And that's it. Some psychologists go even further and suggest that your conscious mind has to process information linearly or sequentially. Even thinking of more than one item at a time is very difficult. I personally believe that when people say to me that they are hyperactive or have attention deficit disorder, that many of us are starting to reach some kind of evolutionary stage where we can focus on more than one thing at a time. But this is a rare and unique skill, and in many ways, I don't recommend it. Focus on one thing at a time. We may be coming into the ability to focus on 2 things at a time, but we certainly can't focus on 7 things at a time or 8 things at a time. It just doesn't work like that. The conscious mind is only limited to very small bandwidth, okay? The subconscious mind makes the decision as to what matters get relayed to the conscious mind. This is done through a part of the brain called the thalamus. The feeling we get of observing reality and making decisions is partly an illusion. When we get the sense of making a decision, indeed we are, but the decision is made from a pre-selected list of choices compiled by your subconscious mind and sent to the thalamus, to the prefrontal cortex. The whole process, it's not instantaneous. There's a little bit of a delay. Neuroscientists at the Bernstein Center for Computational Neuroscience, based in Berlin, have performed key experiments that illustrate the subconscious mind makes many decisions before informing the conscious mind. When you think you're making a decision, oftentimes it's already been made. There was an experiment was done using brain scans on subjects in the process of decision making for basic A or B choice decisions. And researchers looking through the information they found from this actually could tell the subject will pick A or B as much as 10 seconds before the subject becomes aware of the decision. And many of us are walking around randomly being controlled by our subconscious, which oftentimes is just using the information it's being given. When you're feeding the mind garbage all the time, you're going to get garbage decisions. We're not talking about anything mystical or spiritual. This is real, and you need to be aware of it. We found that the outcome of a decision can be encoded in brain activity of prefrontal and parietal cortex up to tens before it enters awareness, said Professor Haynes in the computational neuroscience study that I was just quoting. Think about that. That is truly amazing. And in the education system that we are given, we are not given any information about this subconscious mind. As Bill Lear says, one of the unfortunate things about our education system is that we do not teach students how to avail themselves of their subconscious abilities. And I'm asking you to think to yourself, have you ever changed a subconscious belief? Right now we're defined by our political beliefs and our opinions, and the subconscious mind is guiding that. A lot of times it's just looking for confirmation of what you already believe. Now, the reason the subconscious is so full of programs and junk is because we get tired of being consciously aware of thoughts replaying. So rather than releasing these thoughts, we push them down into our awareness, into the subconscious. The only way to access the subconscious is with awareness, by making conscious what was not conscious. You do so by looking at your surface reality and tracing them back to subconscious beliefs. Of course, you can make changes on one level deeper at the level of consciousness itself, but many are reluctant to go from there and look because they know the changes made can cause a tsunami on the surface. One slight modification at your deepest level can radically and rapidly shift your entire surface level. One client that I worked with continually would make money and then would lose it. And the more I talked to him, we traced this deep belief going back to his parents, and he had a deep guilt about receiving money. His parents had taught him that it wasn't okay to be rich, that rich people were evil, that making money was evil. And once we acknowledged that and released that belief and went through a process of releasing his deep beliefs about money, he started to make money again. Oftentimes, he would make money and then he would lose it again. And the real process is not sometimes making the money, but releasing deep held beliefs that you have in your subconscious mind. Before we start talking about what you want to manifest or choosing a reality that is truly amazing for you, we are going to have to go deep into this ocean of your consciousness and break it up, bring it to the surface and release it, acknowledge it, and make it for what we want. You can agree or disagree with me on anything. That won't make a difference. And if you make an affirmation such as I am abundant and happy without addressing the subconscious and counter beliefs, it won't make as much of a difference in your life. So let's talk about transforming core beliefs, the eighth thing that we can do to change our subconscious. The only thing that will make a difference is by looking deeply, attending to these issues more thoroughly. You can do this in writing and in meditation and in belief processing and playing and experimenting with what you listen to and read. I am aware of many people who have purchased audio programs and books and spoken with me through coaching that simply fail at this because they do not go to the deep level of their beliefs. If you've tried some particular program that has promised a transformation in your life and you didn't have success with it, I suspect if you go deeper, you will find, in many cases, the result of this is that you didn't address your beliefs. Your innermost core beliefs are converted into experience of reality. So changing them changes what you experience quickly and sometimes radically. You can often see what somebody's core beliefs are at first sight by looking at what is happening with the person and around their life. Sometimes it's a little more difficult to see or admit one's deeper thought layers. So I'm going to give you some techniques to do that have worked with my clients that I've coached. State a reality you'd like to create. Now, imagine never getting that reality. You can't do it, ever. See what thoughts come up and emotions bring up if the idea of never getting it causes negative reactions. If the idea of never getting it creates no reaction or one of amusement, that is an indicator that you do not harbor negative beliefs on this subject. Imagine always getting a lot of that reality that you want. And the third part of this is the opposite. Imagine always getting the reality for the rest of your life. Imagine that reality manifesting much, much more than you expected in many different ways. Now, what thoughts and feelings and emotions come up? If the idea of always getting it causes either desire or resistance, then you're still holding subconscious negative beliefs. The words never and always are like programming codes, and they bring up deep-seated core beliefs. If those things don't bother me as a statement, That's because I don't really believe that. If I have a deep-seated belief about something, then nothing about it bothers me, and I'm magnetic to fortunate events. Once you discover core beliefs that are not helpful to you, you allow them to come up to the surface, and that means you close your eyes and allow all memories, thoughts, and emotions, feelings connected to those beliefs to arise. You view all of them, write them down. Oftentimes, the process of writing them down helps to release them. It can take some practice and patience. Things like this are not going to be instantaneous in many cases, especially if they're deeply held beliefs that go way, way back. Explore these core beliefs. The next thing that I have used that has really worked to substantially change my subconscious beliefs, my subconscious mind, is simply listening to different programs while I sleep. I listen to affirmations, I listen to hypnotic programs, I listen to subliminal programs. A lot of times people have some resistance with this. They may have a partner and you can't simply just play music in the background while your partner sleeps. So I do recommend getting headphones. There's the acoustic sleep phones wireless mask, which I highly recommend. It allows you to sleep flat. It has flat headphones. There are Bluetooth masks available on Amazon, and I can give a full analysis of this. I will also try to provide a link for the acoustic sleep phones that I use in the show notes for this program. They should hopefully help you out. And if you listen to these programs on a regular basis, I'm talking about 30, 60, or 90 days, you will start to see a manifestation of a change or transformation in your beliefs. Now, the final thing that we're going to talk about is dreams. Dreams and reality. The dreams are a deep connection to your subconscious mind and may also be a way of playing around with other realities that your subconscious mind is aware of. And we will have an entire program here in the future where we will discuss lucid dreaming and using dreams in reality. When we enter REM sleep and start to dream, we have entered a world that is fully created by the subconscious mind based on the experiences that we've had during the day. And I also believe the knowledge the subconscious mind has of possible futures and possible realities that are around us. Your subconscious mind is able to deceive you night after night to perceive your dreams as real. I oftentimes, and you have probably experienced this, you're in a dream and it feels like it's really happening. And you wake up and you still kind of believe that you're in that dream. Your subconscious is that powerful. And we must consider the very same subconscious mind when you are awake is using more than 95% of your brain's processing power. So, one of the things that you can do is to create lucid dreaming. If you're able to control your dreams while sleeping, you have more power of your subconscious mind while you're awake. Few quick exercises that I recommend. If you're in a dream, first of all, try to do something consciously. Change an object, transform a table, look in the mirror at yourself. Try to look at your hands, rub your hands together. Take a physical action that feels like coming from your deep awareness. If you have a difficult time with this, try to state an intention before you go to sleep that you want to have control over your dream. Another thing that lucid dreamers recommend is during the day when you're walking around, simply ask yourself, am I dreaming? Just this process gets you an ability while you're sleeping to ask, am I dreaming? There's some sleep masks that you can get that have blinking lights while you sleep that I have used that are very effective, essentially reminding you while you're sleeping that you are dreaming. And just being reminded of that pulls you up out of the dream. And that same awareness gives you a midwife connection. Will midwife your subconscious to your conscious mind, giving birth to your subconscious and conscious connection. So another recommendation, there's several different biohacks we'll talk about in the future and several different things. If you wake up every 3 hours, a really particularly fantastic book that I recommend is Dream Yoga. Just a wonderful book about lucid dreaming, and it is truly amazing, by Andrew Holacek. And I will try to include a link to that as well in my notes. So if you have any questions, please email me. If you have any comments, experiences with lucid dreaming, or transforming your subconscious mind, Let me know. I am fascinated by this, and I would love to hear your stories. If you have techniques of accessing or changing or hacking your subconscious mind, let me know. I believe that our heart is uniquely connected to our subconscious. And for us to achieve change in our lives, to manifest what we want, we must connect our heart to our minds. In many ways, our minds are conscious, and our heart is our subconscious mind. And we have lost this connection between our heart and our mind. And going through this process of acknowledging our core beliefs and acknowledging our feelings and understanding our subconscious mind, we can create a connection from our heart to our mind. And we can achieve incredible, incredible things. So please, email me at brian@advancedsuccessinstitute.com and let me know your thoughts on this. I'd love to get your thoughts and feelings. I'll try to share them in future podcasts. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to the podcast. We got many new episodes coming up here in the future. I am deeply honored that you took the time to listen to this. I cannot tell you how grateful I am. Thank you so much. Keep on listening, and thank you for joining the Reality Revolution.